When you're in sales, or even if you're trying to lead a team, there's a big difference in convincing them of something and persuading them to take action, isn't there? Let's take vegetables, for instance. I don't think it would be very hard for me to convince you that eating vegetables 3 times a day would be good for you. However, persuading some of you to take the action necessary to do that would be nearly impossible. Your clients will always buy and pay more for what they want. When I was selling cars, the minivan was a very hot commodity. Every manufacturer offered a minivan, and it seemed that every family felt like they needed to have one. One Saturday, a family came into the store and wanted to look at our minivans. They had already been to 3 other dealerships, and the parents were cranky and tired of the entire process, and frankly, so were the kids. They didn't want to be bothered with a lot of questions. My entire sales process was going out the window because they were so tired and hot and cranky and irritable. They simply wanted to drive our van, and that was it. So I got the keys and pulled the vehicle up and decided that if I was going to be able to help this family, I was going to need to go with them on the drive so that I could find out why they had not made a decision yet. Although we had a great van, I was concerned that if none of the other vans were good for them, then why would our van be any different? Maybe a minivan wasn't quite the right vehicle for them. You see, your client can often be convinced of the right product, good, or service and will agree wholeheartedly with those facts. However, when it comes to taking action on the decision, they will turn around and reject your offer. In order to become a superstar, you have to get to know your clients and ask the right questions that will lead them to the answer. So I went on the test drive with these folks and I asked a few questions. One of the questions I asked was, what made you decide to consider minivans? The mom was driving at the time, and she said, without looking away from the windshield, she said, well, we're having our 3rd child, and so we need more space inside the vehicle, and we're towing a pop-up trailer, and we feel like that this would be a good choice. I said, well, what are you driving now? And she said, a Jeep. I said, what do you like most about the Jeep? She said, well, you know what? I always loved the Jeep. It was the first car I fell in love with, and I was so proud when I bought it. I love the looks of it and its off-road ability, even though I really don't go off-road very often. And I like how it makes me feel. I said, wow. So what do you like least about the Jeep? And she said, well, the seating. Honestly, I wouldn't be trading it at all if it wasn't for the 3rd child coming along. I said, it sure would be nice if there was something that looked cool with the seating that you need and still had the off-road and towing capability, wouldn't it? That's when she turned her head to me and she said, yeah, that would be cool. What I had found was enlightening. Apparently, they were expecting their 3rd child, and the mom had always driven a Jeep. She knew that there would not be enough room in the Jeep for 3 car seats, and they had a pop-up camper, so they felt that a minivan would be the best choice for towing the camper and for their growing family. You see, they were convinced that the minivan was the right choice, but the mom really didn't want to drive a minivan. It really wasn't the image she wanted to portray. So once I understood what she wanted, it was easy to offer a solution that would solve her wants and yet still satisfy the needs of the family. When we got back to the store, I asked them if they would allow me to show them something that would be a better value for them and maybe fit their needs a little bit better. Of course, even though they were tired, they agreed, so I showed them a Mercury Mountaineer, which was a mid-size SUV with a 3rd row seat and seating for 7. About an hour later, the family was leaving in their new Mountaineer. Was it as roomy as the minivan? Nope. Was it less expensive? Absolutely not. Was it a better value? Yes, it was definitely a better value. You see, a sale happens when value exceeds price. And although the minivan was less expensive, the mom just didn't like it. The SUV gave her the seating that she needed, the towing ability that she needed, and most importantly, the off-road capability that she wanted and the image that she wanted. It checked all the boxes. It was by far the better value. When you ask good questions, you persuade the client to take action on the facts. Selling is not something you do to somebody. It is something you do for somebody because you truly care. Selling is all about serving and building a relationship with your clients. And when you accomplish your goal, you will create advocates who not only like you, but refer you to their family and friends.